Now we are official. We'll call the salary board to order and begin with roll call, please, Desiree.
Good morning, Commissioners. Commissioner Nieder
Here.
Commissioner Fashi. I'm here. Commissioner Eichelberger. Controller Whitcomb.
Here.
All right. Is there any public comment that anyone would like to make at the salary board meeting today? Desiree, is anyone showing online? If you are online and interested in making a comment, please use the raise your hand feature.
No comment online.
No comment online. We will move on into the approval of the minutes of September 26th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of September 26th.
I'll second. It's moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next up is approval of the salary board actions.
I'll make a motion to approve the salary board actions as presented.
Thank you.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Is there any other business to come before the salary board at this time? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Al. We are adjourned. We will go into the Board of Commissioners meeting and begin with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We will begin the Board of Commissioners meeting and take roll call, please. That's right.
Commissioner Nieder
Here.
Commissioner Fashi.
I'm here.
Commissioner Eichelberger.
Present.
Is there any public comment on non-agenda items that anyone would like to make at this time at the Board of Commissioners meeting? If you are online, please use the raise your hand feature.
No comment.
No comment? All right. We will roll into, as I always say, the best part of the meeting is when we get to start off with some special recognition. And today, on behalf of my colleagues, I'm happy to announce that our county has received the Government Finance Officers Association, which is known as GFOA. We have received the Triple Crown Award for meeting national best practice budget and financial reporting standards. These awards highlight the great work of our finance department and the county controller's office. The county's finance office, led by CFO Dana Best and Director Ron Snow, earned the 17th consecutive GFOA Distinguished Budget Presentation Award for the preparation and presentation of the 2024 budget. This award honors state and local governments for preparing budget documents that adhere to the GFOA best practices on budgeting and guidelines from the National Advisory Council on State and Local Budgeting. Our County Controller's Office, led by Controller Al Whitcomb, was awarded the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting and the Award for Outstanding Achievement in Popular Annual Financial Reporting, PAFR, for 2022. The Cumberland County Controller's Office has received the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting Award for the past 35 years, and the Award for Outstanding Achievement in Popular Financial Reporting for the past 20 years. We appreciate everyone's work in putting these documents together, and we are very proud to have received the Government Finance Officers Association Triple Crown Award. So the board, those are the formal comments, but as a person who just loves budgeting and numbers, I can't tell you how much it means, the hard work that respectively you and your teams put in to make this happen. It really is the gold standard that of government reporting, and I'm very proud to be a part of a group that meets that standard. So thank you very much. I think we'll take some photos here. This is a heavy award. I'm not sure who's coming up. One of those things. Al and Dana in the middle here, please. I'll put it between you two. You guys, don't drop it. Don't drop it. That's what I was saying. Come around.
Yeah,
Come on.
let us-
Come on. Get over here.
So behind us.
Oh, you're tall.
Why don't we move forward?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I think we're squished in here.
Yeah, we might have to do a couple 2-row. One in a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna turn sideways.
All right,
Get it, Ben?
I think we're good here, yep. Okay, everyone look here. All right, we're good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Nice work.
Now, Al, would you like to say a few words, or Dana?
Yeah. We're one of the few counties that would receive this award. We're very honored to receive it. We have a great staff, both in the finance office and the controller's office. We work hand in hand with each other. One of the few counties that do. And that's, if I would like to make a pitch for the PAFR. Any of you that haven't looked at our PAFR, it's something that people can use. It's normal information. It's not so technical like the budget or the finance office or finance report, but it's a great report for people that are moving into the area, want to know how Cumberland County compares to our surrounding counties. So I encourage you, if you haven't done it yet, please look at our PAFR. Thank you.
And then I want to mirror what he said, and I want to thank all the departments. They put a lot of hard work into everything. It's everybody up here does a great job and does everything, but we need all the departments to help and assist. And I think it's teamwork countywide, and it's a testament to all of us.
Great, that's right.
Very nice.
That's it.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you. Al, I take the PAFR with me to lots of places. People love it.
Great.
Love
Yeah,
it.
it's good.
All right. I believe that takes us to the consent agenda.
So the consent agenda is a list of routine items that do not appear to be controversial in nature or do not appear to require any additional discussion. If discussion is desired on any item in the consent agenda, which is agenda items 5 through 14, now would be the time to make that request. Hearing none, seeing none, commissioners, and ask for approval of the consent agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye.
That takes us then to the regular agenda, which is a list of non-routine items that will be discussed and may be acted upon individually. And we'll start with agenda item 15, which is discussion and approval of resolution 2024-29 regarding requesting the Pennsylvania Historical and Museum Commission transfer of ownership of Peace Church to the Friends of Peace Church. And we actually have Don Polshier and Janice Links from the West Shore Historical Society, if either one wanted to make any comments at this time.
The only thing I'd like to bring up to date, since Gary and Jean and Vince last year did sign a resolution to reconsider the sale. Hampton Township Commissioners did the same. At a meeting 2 weeks ago, I guess it was, at PHMC, they announced that due to the resolutions from the two bodies and our input and hassle, I guess, they have reconsidered and now they want to lease it for 25 years or 99 years to a municipal purchaser. We have convinced the Friends of Peace Church, who they went to first, that was their first choice, PHMC's first choice. And they have now agreed to take title. They've been managing the property and maintaining it. They were mowing the grass yesterday for the last 49 years. We just don't understand why PHMC is hesitating. The lease deadline is next Tuesday. We're going to submit your resolution, all the other resolutions and letters of support to them to encourage them to make the transfer. So that's the update.
Any questions or?
Should I read the resolution into the record? Would you all like to hear it? the resolution that we're proposing is, whereas the historic Peace Church built in 1798 still stands at the northwest corner of East Trindle Road and St. John's Church Road in Hampton Township, Cumberland County, Pennsylvania. And whereas in 1807, Conrad Dole of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, crafted a pipe organ encased in a Chippendale design, which has since been restored and remains in use for more than 200 years later. And whereas the Peace Church witnessed the thunderous roar of rebel cannons as it served as a Confederate artillery site on June 28 and 29, 1863. And whereas the church was designated a National Historic Landmark in March 1972, retaining its historic integrity as it appeared during the Civil War. And whereas the Pennsylvania Historical and Museum Commission is seeking proposals for a long-term lease arrangement to ensure the preservation and public accessibility of this significant historical resource. The agency aims to transition the property to local stewardship while maintaining its historical integrity and public access. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners of Cumberland County respectfully request that the Pennsylvania Historical and Museum Commission transfer ownership of Peace Church in Hampton Township to the Friends of Peace Church, ensuing its preservation and historical significance in our community. Resolved this 10th day of October 2024. So, Mr. Scheer, we will sign this, and if approved, I think we need an approval on that.
I'm going to move to approve.
Move to approve. Is there a second? There's a second. First and second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We will execute on this, and hopefully it will help you in your efforts.
I could add, Commissioner Eichelberger made a point, pass resolution approval about the organ. And I understand that Gary actually pumped the organ as a youngster. So we have addressed that issue, not separately, but as part of the transition.
Are we okay with that without our minute too?
Yeah, I told her I'd cover it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so that takes us then to agenda item 16, which is discussion and approval of the 2024 CDBG grant acceptance for the Cumberland County Housing Redevelopment Authority, and we have Michaela Kitchen here to discuss. Morning, Michaela.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, commissioners. I actually believe the next two could probably go together. So previously, we had gone through the process of reviewing all the applications for CDBG and home that we received. We brought our recommendations to you back in July, I believe. You approved them. We sent them off to HUD. HUD double approved them. So now we're at the point where we are just looking for acceptance of the grant monies into the county to be able to start spending on those projects. So for CDBG, we are looking for a grant acceptance of $1,254,163. And for home, it would be a grant acceptance of $497,075.18. And I did double check the cents this time. We would just be looking for, again, acceptance of those grant monies into the county. And I'm not sure if that's just a vote, I think.
So these need to be separate or together.
We can
Two.
separate.
Together.
I'll move for approval of the items as outlined by Michaela in item 16 and 17 for the county CDBG. And the home grant acceptance as well.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. I did want to make a point of discussion on this. Michaela, we received some outreach based on an allocation that was reduced to someone under this program. And so if the next go round of this, I think I would like to see the numbers presented a little bit more clearly as to the allocations of prior years, if recipients had received them and what they were receiving in a current year. But that's the only comment then that I have to make on. So is there any, did anyone have any other discussion? It's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you, Michaela. That takes us then to agenda item 18, which is discussion and approval of the Cumberland County cost allocations for fiscal year 2023. And we have Carrie Bingenmeier here to discuss.
Morning. Finance is requesting approval to accept the 2023 cost allocation plan that's prepared by Maximus and will be used in calendar year 2025. The cost allocation plan is used to charge back costs to departments in order to maximize our federal and state funding. Do you have any questions?
No, Carrie, thank you. I did take the opportunity to meet with Ron and Carrie to walk through that plan, and I appreciated the time and explanation. It's a pretty in-depth plan, and that's been given to us. So if anyone would have questions, if not, we'll.
Anything extraordinary? No, any changes in how you've done that over past years? Okay, that's all.
I will move to approve.
I'll second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Thank you, Carrie.
Thanks, Carrie. Thank you, Commissioners. That takes us then to agenda item 19, which is discussion and approval for the Department of Public Safety to accept a number of donations totaling $2,250 in sponsorships for the 2024 LEPC Summit. We have James Brandt to discuss. Morning, James.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
The Department of Public Safety is asking for the Board of Commissioners approval to accept sponsorship money to be used in offsetting the expenses to host the 2024 LEPC Summit. As you know, this one-day conference brings together county facilities, emergency management, first responders, local and state government, and more, allowing all to interface to be better prepared for an emergency. The Summit Planning Committee has received a payment from the Perry County Local Emergency Planning Committee in the amount of $1,000 for a gold sponsorship, a payment from Summit Fire and Security in the amount of $500 for a silver sponsorship, and payments from FirstNet AT&T, AAA Central Penn, and Journeys Travel Specialists in the amount of $250 for bronze sponsorships. The approval of these 5 sponsors brings our current number to 24, with sponsorship funds totaling $11,500. We very much appreciate the support that these agencies have given to the LEPC mission. And again, we ask for your approval to accept the sponsorship money to be applied towards the summit. Thank you.
Thank you. James, I hear it's a sold out production you're putting on out there.
Yes, we sold out at 200 this year. Last year it was 189. We upped it a little bit, but registrations are going well.
That's fantastic. Thank you. Any questions of James at this time?
No, and I will move to approve.
I'll second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, James. Thank you, Commissioners. That takes us then to agenda item 20, which is the start of the contract and grant section, and I'll turn the meeting over to Angela Spicer.
Thank you, Stacy. Good morning, everybody. Moving on to agenda item 20, I will call on Darby Chrisley to discuss a grant application for adult probation and parole. Good morning, Darby.
Good morning, Commissioners. Adult probation is requesting approval for a PCCD grant in the amount of $228,000. This is an annual award the department gets for their 100% compliance to the 54 standards that PCCD has. So it is a reoccurring event, and the award goes to probation officer salaries.
Any questions for Darby?
I have none.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 If I may elaborate on future funding.
Yes, please do.
So I know that I had spoken to finance, and I believe the commissioners as well, that The funding formula for the counties had changed in recent years. And the first indications were that our funding was going to be reduced by $50,000 to $75,000. And there's many things that PCCD takes into consideration for their funding. And one is the programs that you offer. You may recall that the commissioners approved pretrial services last year. That is one of the programs that they look at. So as a result of us instituting pretrial services, it actually gave us increased revenue. So in 2028, projections said that we're going to be in the neighborhood of $230,000 reimbursement, rather than the $50,000 to $75,000 reduction we initially thought. So something to look forward to. Some good news.
That's good news, Debbie. We'll take it every time. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do we know what the offsetting expenditures are though?
Probably zero.
Really?
I don't know.
Get me skeptical. Okay.
Stacy asked in February that I meet with the commissioners once we get the data in, and I plan to schedule something in February to talk about pretrial services. And I'll
Thank
know
you,
more.
Darby.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks.
Thank you.
But if it's something we're doing already and we can get paid for it, that's a good thing. So.
Moving on to agenda item 21, I will call on Kim Winton to discuss the contracts for aging community services. Good morning, Kim.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, commissioners. We are requesting approval for a revenue contract with Still Opportunities. It's a contract for providing aging and disability resource center services as part of Service Area 9. Still Opportunities is the lead coordinator, and they will pay us quarterly for services that we provide in Cumberland County. TUA's Human Services provides personal care and home support to eligible older adults in our All Options program, and that will be a rate at $21 per hour.
Any questions for Kim on either of those?
None.
I will move to approve.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. 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 Thank you, Kim.
Thank you. All right, that takes us to agenda item 22, and Katie Zimmerman will be discussing the grant acceptance for the Bureau of Elections.
Hi, I'm here on Bethany's behalf to chat about the 2022 and 2024 HAVA Election Security Grant, which is the Help America Vote Act, HAVA. So this is funds to use for federal elections, and they are both extending our 2022 grant period to spend the funds and also giving us money for 2024. So the total amount for both is $30,881.42. And these can be used for any expenses for federal elections, including voting equipment, voting processes, voter registration systems, physical security, cybersecurity, and voter education.
Oh, good. Very good.
Any questions?
For me, I move to approve.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Katie.
Thanks, Katie. That takes us to agenda item 23, and I will call on Jamie Riber to discuss the contracts for children and youth. Good morning, Jamie.
Good morning, commissioners. The first one I have is for the Children's Aid Society of Franklin County. They provide shelter care, residential care, foster care, and independent living services for our agency. They are requesting some increases in a couple of their programs, 19% to their shelter, 25.51% to their residential. And there is a big increase of 42.69 to their diagnostic assessment. However, that is a short-term add-on that we can choose, and we don't often choose that. However, all of their rates are below the state maximum allowable. They're citing continued higher costs in operating, food, travel, clothing for their the youth that are in their programs, staff salaries, and just overall operating costs. The next one is for Chore Youth and Family Services Incorporated. They have merged with several of our providers. So there is actually a whole slew of programs they offer now, from residential treatment, foster care, and shelter services. They're requesting increases ranging from 2.16% to 26.17% in their programs, with some of them not requesting any increases at all. Again, overall operating costs, including the food, transportation, and insurance costs, as well as increasing salaries to maintain their staff. Community Specialist Corporation, doing business as the Academy. They provide residential services. They are requesting increases of 6% to 6.75%. They are indicating they're purchasing additional training opportunities to promote trauma-informed care and behavioral health-related issues for their staff, purchasing a new client data system and upgrading their facilities. They're expanding vocational, recreational, and extracurricular activities that they can offer and enhancing their programming to improve their outcomes. The next one is for Everstand. They are a group home. They are increasing their rate to 14.41%. They are also a specialized setting program that is for children at risk of human trafficking. Their increases are due to rising cost of goods and services, as well as increasing their salaries to avoid the staffing shortages that they have had in the past. The next one is National Mentor Healthcare LLC, doing business as Pennsylvania Mentor. They provide foster care services for our agency. They are requesting increases ranging from 14% to 23% in their foster care. There is one that is an increase that probably jumped out at you of 356.98%. That is for their community residential rehabilitation program, room and board. It's increasing from $15.42 a day to $67.13 a day. It is a very minimal cost actually for that service. It's well below the state maximum allowable also, and very comparable to other programs that are offered in that way. They are increasing their foster parent per diems, so the amount that goes to the actual foster parent caring for the child every day to help offset the cost of food, clothing, transportation, and all the things it takes to take care of the kids in their home. Next one is Outside In School of Experiential Education. They provide group home services. Their programs are increasing 15.81% and 20%. They are adding telepsychiatry services, staffing increase, and program additions. They're trying to enhance their retention efforts and increasing their technology and security enhancements to their facilities, including keyless entry doors and new security cameras. Next is Summit School Incorporated, doing business as Summit Academy. They are the sister program to the Community Services Community Specialist Corporation that I had already spoke about. This is the girls program. They are increasing their rates the same, 6% to 6.75%. And again, due to increasing training opportunities and enhancements to their facilities. The next one is the Impact
Jamie, can I
Project.
ask you a question about this one,
Yes.
please? So I see there's a new program here and it's an enhanced support program and that's $1,113 a day.
Yes.
Okay.
So what their intention is this is for some of those harder to place youth that we have that require one-on-one supervision around the clock that nobody else wants to take on in their facilities. We have not had an opportunity to see this program yet, but because we do have so many youth that we are always looking for a placement for, we did want to get this into our contract in hopes that we don't have to use it, but it is there if we do need to.
I appreciate that very much, Jamie, and I appreciate the explanation because at face value, it looks like it's very expensive. And it is very expensive.
It is very
But
expensive.
What is more expensive is when we don't have anywhere to put children. When they spend their, time in an emergency room, when they have to spend time in our offices. That is incredibly expensive. So I appreciate the look at this new program and I'm glad it's there if we need it. And I would also be interested, Jamie, as we move this forward, when we get into the situation where we have a child that we can't place, is this program helping?
Absolutely. We will definitely be watching that.
Thanks. Jamie, just in some perspective on that too, because I think when we've spoken with Andy, the going rate, daily rate was in many of his programs, he was referencing 700, 800. Are you seeing these go up? Now this is 1,000. Is that
yes,
where they're all
I mean,
headed?
We're definitely seeing very large increases. We're also seeing the state approving those at the very large amounts of the daily per diems. Hopefully they continue to increase our budget as well so that we can pay for those increased costs. But yes, we are seeing a lot of these specialized residential programs getting very close to $1,000 a day.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I believe I was on Impact Project. They are foster care services for sexualized offenders. They are increasing their available beds from 40 to 55 and adding additional staff to support their increases. There was one program that decreased 8.33%. The others are increasing from 0.13% to 10.12%. And the last one is Valley Youth House Committee. They provide shelter, residential, and independent living services. Their increases are mostly 10% across the board, with a few at 0.55% and one at 13.79%. They are increasing their direct care worker salaries to reduce turnover rates, as well as increasing to overall benefits. There's significant increases in their food, utility, and rental costs for their facilities and programs. And they did become a licensed specialized setting provider for youth transitioning to adulthood for several of their programs. I think that's all of them. Any questions?
I want to follow, I'd just like to follow up on that. I don't know if you know the answer, but when we talk about youth transitioning to adulthood, what does that mean? And like, what are the age groups and how long do you have to transition to adulthood? And if you don't know the answer, Jamie, that's okay. We'll
I can give you a very brief one probably and a broad one. So we are allowed to maintain youth from 18 to 21 now. So at 21 is when we consider you an adult and we can no longer provide services to you. So these programs are specifically really working with those 18 to 21-year-olds to get them the independent living skills and get them set up to be able to go out onto their own.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Jamie?
No, but I would move to approve.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you, Jamie. That takes us to agenda item 24, and I will call on Chad McKay and Melissa Calvinelli to discuss the contracts for court administration.
I'm going to let Chad talk about postage machines.
Okay, yeah, I'm here to seek approval for the contracts for the mail machines for the DJ offices. It is Green Trail Solutions and also Pitney Bowes. Pitney Bowes is who we're actually getting the machines from, but Green Trails is the local company that we do the service through. Their maintenance agreement price is included in the original cost of the project, $53,000 for all six. Any questions?
I don't have any.
And then you can discuss the third one.
Yes, the third one is you.
Oh, yeah.
This one I can handle myself. This is just a memorandum of understanding between Cumberland County and For the Record, which is the company, the contract that we approved for the transcript software. This just basically states that we get the money that people pay for transcripts and they get the 2.9% credit card fee. We do not currently offer credit cards, so this is an enhancement to our service. We make everybody write a check or bring us cash, which is not as convenient for both our office as well as people requesting the checks, which basically says they get to keep the 2.9%.
Any questions on any of those?
Not. And I will move to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you. Great. Moving on to agenda item 25, I will call on Anita Brewster to discuss the grant application for CASA.
Thank you. Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
This is the third year in a row that PAASA has been given money through the state and administered by PCCD. The PAASA office then allocates certain amounts of money to the local program. So this is just a request at this point to be able to apply for that portion of the money that they will be receiving.
Yes, please do. Entertain a motion.
I will move to approve.
It's moved and seconded. Thank you. All in favor, please say aye. 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 Thank you. Thanks. Moving right on. Thank you.
Good job, Katie.
Good job, Anita.
moving on to agenda item 26, I will call on Ryan Simon to discuss the contracts for drug and alcohol. Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning. ARS of Pennsylvania currently provides methadone maintenance and outpatient services for us, and we would like to add buprenorphine and intensive outpatient treatment. The intensive outpatient treatment rate is a weekly rate. That's why it's a little higher. Cadenzia provides inpatient services, and they would like increases on 3 of their rates. Concept 90 provides 3.5 high inpatient, and they're asking for a 10% increase. Fountain Springs provides inpatient services for women with children. They're asking for a 7% increase. Vantage provides the same service, and they're asking for an 8% increase. The home counties have reviewed the rate increase requests and approved those. And Cadenzia says that they are for salary and benefit cost increases. Any questions?
I do not have any. Does anyone else have questions, Brian? Take a motion. I'll move to approve. It's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to agenda item 27, I will call on Annie Strike to discuss the contract and grant from HIDD. Good morning, Annie.
Good morning. Stand up here and talk with you. You folks perhaps remember in November of 2022, I had sought and received your permission to apply for a regional opportunity with the state, a regional opportunity with Franklin and Fulton counties to create a long-term structured residence. We have a long-term structured residence that was licensed in 2020. This is in 2022, we applied for it last November, almost a year ago. We received approval for that. And it will be annualized into our operating budget. There will be no match because it's not part of our human services block grant. So sounds pretty good so far. We've spent the last year almost developing memorandums of understanding with our partners down in Franklin and Fulton County, writing a formal request for proposal, working with our solicitor to do that request for proposal, and then formed a team of stakeholders to review the proposals, and have finally reached the place where we're ready to run the contract through. The contract is for $5,654,835. This will be almost a 2-year contract, 20 months. It will be the remainder of this fiscal year through June 30th of 2026. And it's for the startup of a second long-term structured residence, this time operating with Franklin and Fulton counties. So multiple stakeholder involvement as well as multiple boards of commissioners support for this large project. A long-term structured residence is the highest level of care available in the community mental health system. They're licensed for 16 beds. It's the only locked facility in the community mental health system. It's kind of like a mini hospital, to describe it in terms that we all would understand. There's a psychiatrist required 16 hours a week, nursing staff, mental health professionals, certified peer support specialists. I mean, it truly operates almost like a mini hospital. This program will support individuals who likely have forensic involvement. Some may be found not competent, not restorable after completing a criminal offense. So we have a good bit of support for the project as well as the state support. So yes, and the contract is a lot of money. So I want to make sure that you folks have as much information as possible. If you approve it, we would request that we would be able to take that with me. Perry County would be looking at it, seeking their approval on Monday. And then the very next day, we'll be getting it to Franklin County for their support and approval. Do you have any questions for me?
Do not. You briefed us on this.
Yes. And then the second project is actually no cost. It is an application for a grant for sequential intercept mapping. Some of you may recall that way back in 2014, we completed our first sequential intercept map And it was a success. And I think if we look back at what we put together in 2014, much of the work that was identified was accomplished. And so that's exciting. And now we've come to a different place, and we believe that probably strategically to move our system and our community forward, it's time to do that again. For any who may not be familiar with what a sequential intercept mapping project is, it is a time to pull together many stakeholders from our community, including courts, jail, advocacy community, people with lived experience of mental illness, as well as the mental health system, and families and external nonprofits to consider how to better support people with mental illness, how to help them receive appropriate supports in our community rather than incarceration. And so this is sort of phase 2, the way we see it. We certainly are appreciative of Katie and her support with this grant application. So we've been working diligently. We have 14 letters of support for this project. We think that's immense. And it will be with SAMHSA's Games Center. So this is be a federal entity coming to support our efforts in the next phase. And just to give you a couple of high points from the first SIM mapping project, one of the things was discussed was specialty courts. Well, we have now multiple specialty courts. We also developed the first long-term structured residence out of some of the comments and feedback. We became a stepping up county back in 2016. In 2019, we became an innovator with the Stepping Up initiative. So we have a lot of excellent momentum right now. So we believe this will carry us forward, and we're hoping that SAMHSA agrees that it's a great opportunity for us. So I'm seeking your support and permission with that as well.
It sounded like you had a question, Annie. I don't. This is so good, Annie. This long-term structured residence and this partnership with other counties is so good, and it's part of counties being able to move ahead and not having to wait for the state or the federal government to step up to the table. That combined approach, I think, is an excellent way to handle things, and I appreciate all the thought and all the work that has gone into this. And that the sequential intercept model mapping workshops are really going to help CJAB also. I'm very excited for this. Very excited.
I share your excitement.
And Annie, I did not know what sequential intercept model mapping was, but I thank you for some information you provided. And I commend you too for getting the band back together and taking another look at this to see where you need to advance again, because things have changed. You are in a new dynamic. And so that it's a great way. I hope that your grant is looked upon favorably. Thank you. Any other questions, Annie? Anyone like to?
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Seconded, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to agenda item 28, I will call on Kirk Stoner to discuss a contract with planning. Good morning, Kirk.
This is extension, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. That took me by surprise slightly.
Good morning,
Commissioners, as you're aware, we've been negotiating a new MOU with Penn State Ag Extension. The drafts of the documents been sent to Penn State. They've approved it and sent it back to us. You have the executed version from them. Looking for your approval today.
Any questions for Kirk on that? I do not.
No, and I will move to approve.
Seconded, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
And Kirk will also be discussing a Cumberland Plans grant for Lower Allen Township.
So Commissioners, as you're aware, we have a grant program through the Planning Department to help municipalities update their planning documents and ordinances in a manner consistent with the county comprehensive plan. Lower Allen Township's applied for a grant for $17,500 through that program to update their zoning and subdivision ordinance. Planning Commission looked at this at their September meeting and recommended approval to the Board of Commissioners.
Any questions for Kirk?
I have none. I don't have any questions, but I'm so glad that we have these programs that assist municipalities. And I think about Lower Allen being, it's like a powerhouse planning, right? They took that corridor that was blight, and they turned it into something really spectacular where the old Bonton was. They've revamped a lot of things in that area. And so I'm really glad that we can support them as they move forward. and continue to think and plan. I think it's great.
And Kirk, how long has it been since they had done their plan? I'm curious to know.
There's zoning ordinance.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
So,
And it's time, for
Yeah.
a new plan, they're looking ahead, as Gene said, I think they're really one of the leaders in the county and thinking ahead and doing some innovative initiatives. So this will help fuel that even.
and it will help dovetail with the comprehensive plan.
Sure, yeah, so that, our Cumberland Plans program is one of those things that we work with municipalities, they update their plans and ordinances. Our staff are typically involved in that process. We get to the end, it's no surprise then the result is consistent with our county comprehensive plan.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, the zoning was 2009. Yeah, and the subdivision was 2010.
Yeah. So I'll move to approve.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you, Kirk. Right, that takes us to agenda item 30, and I will call on Travis Shank, who is so patient waiting his turn.
I don't know, looks like I have to be. I see no movement. I made 2 motions twice now. Okay, I'm here for it. Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, Stacy and Angela. The first one is the President Daniel contract with the Carlisle Area Religious Council for chaplain services at CCP. The chaplain ensures that the religious and spiritual needs of inmates are met. Chaplain delivers pastoral care directly and facilitates ministry to the inmates by local clergy. The chaplain provides and coordinates worship, Bible study, devotions, administration of sacraments, and other religious and seasonal religious activities. The cost of this contract is $86,030, which is an increase of $1,433.50, essentially a 2.5 step increase. Any questions? I'll go into the second one. The president is seeking approval for a 1-year contract addendum with Prime Care Medical. The cost of this addendum is $3,917,021.37. It is an increase of $618,110.83. The factors for this increase are the addition of 3 positions: Director of Nursing, Administrative Assistant, and the MAC Coordinator, along with the 2025 annual CPI increase of 4.3%. I would also like to commissioners to know that we have also applied with the Drug and Alcohol Commission to offset that cost. We've applied for $200,000 because this is all not related. These positions that we're asking for.
Okay.
Any questions?
That was going to be my question. Can we get it funded through the opioid?
Yes, ma'am. Trying not to be greedy, but we're going to be, yes.
No,
We're gonna
I
try to
mean,
get
cover costs,
Yes,
yeah.
ma'am.
And when you were kind enough to show me around the other day, I was very pleasantly surprised to see a very large group. And you indicated it was the chaplain, some of the services that they were providing to, so it's a service that is used in the prison.
And the Religious Council does such a nice job with it. Really, they're fantastic. So I'm gonna move to approve.
Is there a second? Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Y'all have a great day.
Thank you, Warren. See you as well.
Moving on to agenda item 31, I will call on Claudia Garner to discuss the contract for public safety. Good morning, Claudia.
Good morning. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
perfect.
Okay, my computer just got switched over. I didn't have time to test it, so I wanted to make sure. We are asking for your approval of a land lease agreement with Presbyterian Homes Incorporated, doing business as Green Ridge Village. This is an agreement to have access to and from and use of 3,600 square feet of land located in Newville for one of the tower sites to be constructed as part of our P25 public safety radio project. The contract is written with an initial term of 5 years and an annual rent of $800 with a 3% escalator. If approved today, the agreement will automatically extend 4 additional 5-year terms and 1 last 4-year term, making it a total of a 29-year agreement, and it is eligible expenditures against our 911 uniform funding.
Any questions for Claudia?
No, I'll move to approve.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank
Very
you.
good.
Thank you, Claudia. And with that, I will hand the meeting back over to Stacy.
Thank you, Angela. That takes us then to agenda item 32, which is Commissioner's Liaison Reports. And Commissioner Niebuhr, I'll start with you.
Yes, it was a busy couple of weeks between meetings. I had the pleasure of visiting with Beth Kemp out at the Shippensburg Family Shelter and doing amazing work for families in Shippensburg, heart-wrenching work, but providing a lovely service to those in need. I additionally attended it was an entrepreneurial group. They have a program at Shippensburg University for entrepreneurial studies, and Senator Rothman hosted an event at Shippensburg University where he was speaking with the students and they were asking questions. It was very, very well done. I participated in the conservation golf outing. I did not play well and it was raining, but we still had a good time, and they raised money for their scholarships. I forget the exact amount, but people still showed up to play even in spite of the weather. And the folks from conservation that golfed with me were very, very patient, which I appreciate. Thank you, Vince. I additionally attended the Friendship Hose Company of Newville, their celebration banquet. They celebrated 150 years of serving the community, which is just incredible. Representative Senator Rothman was there along with Congressman Perry as well to join in the festivities. I visited the West Shore Senior Center. There was an announcement from the U.S. Health and Human Services director that works at the federal level directly for the president. And they were announcing some reductions in medical costs for seniors. And I felt bad for them because group came up from Washington to make the announcement. And unfortunately, they were not as profiled in the news because there were a lot of other visitors around the state that took priority on that day. But it was wonderful to see that center, and the people were incredibly engaged in healthcare and the costs of drugs, and the same thing that we're seeing the needs within our community amongst the senior population. Commissioner Fasci and I attended the Cumberland County 4-H Annual Achievement Banquet, and that was fun. We helped to hand out awards. Commissioner Fasci and I also attended the Cumberland County Forum for Local Land Conservation that was held at Dickinson College. Our Stephanie Williams from our planning area did a great job in presenting some of the programs that we have here, and it was a highly engaged group they were doing a lot for conservation, and it was beyond just Cumberland County. It included representatives of York and actually a visit from Chester County to talk. The entire board attended the Cumberland County Association of Township Officials meeting. Commissioner Fasci and I attended a Bhutanese festival at Heck. That was a whole lot of fun on a beautiful, beautiful day. That community is becoming a large and opening many small businesses that are supporting needs within the community. And they represent Bhutanese and Nepalese individuals that are settling in Cumberland County and Dauphin County as well. Commissioner Fasci and I attended the grand opening celebration for the trail and boat launch at Seibert Park in Camp Hill. That was a beautiful project, and it was a great project to see. It brought so many different pieces together to make it happen. And Commissioner Fasci, I don't know if you'll make comment, but I thought it was incredibly neat that Camp Hill School District uses that stream for educational purposes. They march their kids right down to the stream to pull out the amoebas and look at them under glass, I would think. Additionally, I thank the staff at the prison. They led a visit, quite frankly, and thank you, Controller Whitcomb, for the controller and one of the commissioners from Dauphin County to to highlight our prison. It was the first time I'd been through the full facility, and it is amazing what a phenomenal job our team does out there. I have to say, I know that the folks from Dauphin County were quite envious of the facility and just the way that we are able to operate, and the staff there that does an amazing job in operating that. So thank you to the prison staff for that. I believe that's it. I did attend as one of my liaison, the Ag Land Preservation Board. Just an update, in 2022, there are still 2 outstanding farms that are slated to close by this year. They have closed 3 for 2023 and have 10 outstanding. There was a heated discussion on the township denial of a farm's inclusion into the ASA. That was a farm that was slated to be approved for preservation in 2023. So the board elected to authorize Stephanie and team to approach additional landowners concerning some potential for some federal funding to help assist with expanding the reach of that program. So that will remain to be seen. But that, Jean, I know you had we had spoken about that at the last meeting. The denial of the ASA was directly related to FPRs, or food processing residuals. And I expressed my concern for the continuation of the ag preservation program if that becomes a common reaction in townships when we request to include a property in the ASA. So I know that it's of concern to that board. A discussion was held around policy changes over deed language that's happened over the course of time, and it's creating policy exceptions, and they're addressing that. And 2 motions were made to recommend individuals to our board. One will be for a reappointment to the Ag Board, and the second one will be a nomination to recommend a candidate to provide the farmer representation to the Conservation District Board. So we'll be getting those here at this board probably within a month for approval. And I believe that is it then for my report. And that's a long one.
Last night when we did an emergency services action panel, was it last night that we heard something about there being an FPR bill in the works that it looks like they'll consider in November?
Actually, they did talk about that. It was brought up at the Ag Board meeting. A representative at the Ag Board has indicated that there was legislation that is slated to come out that in October that they believe will be acted upon. As you well know, Jean, it was put forth. The Farm Bureau didn't support it. Apparently they regrouped, got the Farm Bureau's buy-in, and they're hopeful, but I haven't confirmed that it's actually in the queue to be acted upon prior to the end of the year. So we will see.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Because not having this updated law is really holding so many things back. Not only ag preservation, but I think about what DEP talked about last night. In terms of FPRs, and are these FPRs polluting our water? Are they not polluting our water? How's our air quality? What's happening with kids at school? There's a lot at stake, so we really need them to
move on the FPR.
Yeah, and to get together and really
yes,
work on it together. So
agreed.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Bocci.
So I'll remind you to use the Cumberland County Library System because there's so many fantastic things going on there. So I will let you know that Monday night I attended the PA Chamber dinner and I sat with Magellan, and I called Annie before I went to that dinner. I wanted to talk with her about Magellan. I made some new contacts there. It was good, Annie. And I know they were going to the meeting the next day about the reimbursement, Medicaid, Medicare reimbursement, and I don't know how that went, but I'm sure you'll fill me in on that. So as Commissioner Eater said, we attended Bhutanese Fest together. October 4th, I went to the ribbon cutting ceremony of the 9/11 National Memorial Trail Picnic Pavilion in Shippensburg. That was very exciting. I remember in my first term, we signed on to that in some way. I remember there was a letter that we had to sign on to supporting that. So it was good to see that come to fruition. October 1st, Sadler Health Center had their Community Health and Fun Fest in Mechanicsburg, and they are opening an urgent care there. So that is very exciting also, but that was a really good time. And then September 27th, I had HATS, the Harrisburg Area Transportation Study meeting. And so anyone who is concerned about transportation in the region, congestion in the region, safety in the region, you go to the HATS website. It's the Tri-County Regional Planning Commission's website. There's a link to HATS. There is so much there that is interactive. There's so much excellent mapping. So for example, you can go read the full HATS Regional Safety Action Plan on that website. And it's an interactive summary of what's going on in terms of our Regional Safety Action Plan. It's such a great resource. If you have never gone and looked at these maps and pulled in on, this is where accidents happen. This is where we want to connect trails. This is where we want to relieve congestion. There's just such great things on this website. Tri-County Regional Planning Commission was awarded an SS4A demonstration grant for the Sober Ride Home program. So this program has already launched in Dauphin County. One of the things that is most concerning in terms of regional transportation and safety is most of our problems are caused by intoxicated drivers. So in Dauphin County, if you're in downtown Harrisburg Thursday through Saturday and you've been out drinking, you get on the phone and there's a partnership where Uber will pick you up and take you home. It's a free, safe ride home. And so they're launching this to see how it works. And will it be sustainable? Can we continue this after the grant? And if we can, it's going to move on in the region. It's such an excellent program. I really hope it works out, because when I first learned that our biggest problem in the area in terms of safety on the road was intoxicated drivers, I was surprised by that, because I think about congestion.
I think about texting.
Okay, yeah, I mean, but it is sober driving.
That.
It is sober driving. There's a public survey available online right now. It's the HATS 2050 Regional Transportation Plan. So the public outreach is underway. Please go look at that survey and take it. It's 2050 regional transportation. I know it sounds like it's never going to be 2050, but it will be here tomorrow. And what's the population supposed to be in Cumberland County by 2050? Over 300,000. Yeah. I mean, this is such an important time for planning in terms of transportation and roadways. This website that Tri-County Regional Planning has put together for HATS is phenomenal. And it reminds me very much of the work that our GPS group has done on mapping. And being able to get in there and maneuver around and really take a look at what is there in terms of land, what is there in terms of roadway. It's excellent. That is all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Eichelberger.
Okay, busy couple of weeks. I'll just focus in on some of the more substantive stuff here. So we have the Mental Health Summit coming up October 29, 30. Annie, I did get your mailing here and the agenda and your draft presentation. I know you said you wanted to get together and schedule something on that too. So send me a note when you have an opportunity and we'll make that a priority. So that's going to be here before we know it.
It is.
So
Thank you.
Very important issue. I'm hopeful for that. We haven't had a lot to be hopeful for, frankly, on the funding issue. So see if this gives us some directions. Mark sent me an update late yesterday. So on the IDD side, I'm sorry, before we go any further, did you have anything on the walk-in center? I haven't seen anything new happening on
Other than they have hired more than 60% of their workforce.
Okay.
And they're still on target to open in December.
All right.
they're excited. They're actually here this week and they're meeting with chiefs of police. They participated in our CIT steering committee meeting earlier this week. They've met with Dauphin County's Human Services. So there's a lot of effort to make sure that the entire community is fully aware the walk-in center will be opening. I'm working to schedule a time where I'm hoping that we can get connections from 3 boards of commissioners together to update everybody sort of with where we are and next planning phases of that. But yeah, this enormous project is just about ready to open. So very excited.
Okay, so right on track with that. It's very good news, of course. So, and you already spoke about the LTSR. Thank you for that. On the IDD side, real quick, Mark gave me a quick update on the working on the distribution of the community living waivers. So 14 were made immediately available. The rest of that's going to come available after January 1. So that, of course, was some good news we are long overdue for. And of course, as I reported previously, the new waivers are going to be, they're going to prioritize individuals who so far are not receiving any services. That's how that's okay. Good. And waiver caps were increased pretty significantly, it looks like. So more good news there. And those are retroactive to July 1. So rate increases are running about 6 to 8%. I'm not sure where that puts us in terms of historical norms now, but we'll take it. So,
yeah, I think it's common knowledge that most of our providers on both the MH and the ID side are still struggling with some staffing issues. I will say that it seems as if ODP has done an excellent job really stepping up and trying to navigate, okay, we have to really work on this workforce issue. So I know that ODP has created opportunities, I'm going to say, and that's where they're getting those 6% increases that they're putting out to the communities for our counties then to implement with the provider network. So I mean, that's positive.
okay. And Mark gave us a small update on some of the work opportunity things that are scheduled. UPS health fair, 400 employees in attendance, regional employment symposium, expecting close to 300 individuals. Finding employment opportunities for the population is a significant challenge. So we're glad to see these efforts. Looks like some good progress on that. So also on just a reminder, the from recycling folks, there's really, I asked Judd, he said there's nothing really new in terms of the yard waste program, but he wanted me to issue a reminder. Final household hazardous waste event for the year is scheduled Thursday, October 24. That's 11 to 5. And that, of course, is your opportunity to get rid of a lot of household stuff. Old paint is and not the horse. Old paint is the thing that is the largest quantity that is generally turned in. Gasoline, pesticides, pool chemicals, drain cleaners, degreasers, et cetera, et cetera. I got a bunch of old dried up Thompson wood seal that's going to be coming in too. So that's always a great opportunity. There are 200 spots. Right now, there's 150 spots left out of the 400 registration online or by telephone to the recycling office. So let's see here. I don't think I reported this last time, but Blighted Property Board met in September, initiated blight process on 10 properties, put 2 of the properties the municipality asked to put on hold. 3 of the properties were sold and will go for rehab. 4 have been referred to the Redevelopment Authority for further action. That's close to the beginning of that process. So we're going to continue to see, a robust demand for dealing with the blight issue, and the board was pretty busy that day. So the only other item I have is mentioned before, and I think I believe both of you are aware too, that Safe Harbor is putting in a request for money from the Affordable Housing Trust in order to promote a program for ongoing rehab of certain properties that would allow for a substantial increase in the housing stock available to affordability population. So they received that request at the meeting last week, and quite a bit of discussion on that. The board decided they needed a little additional information. Mary said she's she's got some ideas on some other sources that might work as well. So we think that's going to go through in some form soon, just not ready to come to us yet. That will actually come to us. So they're determining estimates on some of the standing of that fund over the long term as well, which requires she interact with recorder of deeds. That's the deed transactions are the source of revenue on that. So she's got some work to do, and she's no stranger to work. But we remain optimistic that Safe Harbor's onto something here, and we're going to have some good news on the supply of affordable housing in the general areas. I think that's everything that I have. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner. That takes us into agenda item 33, which is report of executive sessions. And we'd like to report that on October 4th, 2024 at 8 a.m. and as well as at 8:30 a.m. and on October 8th, 2024 at 10 a.m. there were executive sessions held regarding personnel. At this time, is there any other business to come before the board today? Hearing none, seeing none, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.